righty, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, October 28th, and folks, the Jets and the Ravens, Iman's Ravens, got back in the win column this weekend. Boy, oh boy. Hey, Iman, how you feeling, man? You gotta be feeling
Hey,
pretty damn
listen,
good.
I'm about my money. I'm about my biz. You know it's me. When you hear that, there it is. Finally, a Monday. I'm not depressed. I'm not in my feelings. And I get to walk around the house with my chest out. You know what I'm saying? My girls Cleveland lost and my team won. So, man, my strut today at practice and school was different. I'm just saying it was different.
Hey,
Finally.
now.
Finally,
Woo!
I went 4 weeks just looking like a simp around town, and now I got one. The flock, we back, baby. We back.
Flock is flying. I know that you got the hookah next to you. We hadn't seen a hookah in a while. I mean,
Listen, it's celebratory.
celebratory hookah. Well,
Yes,
I'm happy for you. It did come at the expense of our producer, Joey, so we'll get into it after the top 10 and 10. So poor Joey, but hey, me and him have been kind of riding some win streaks. Iman, you had to get your one. It just, unfortunately, time for Joey's Bears coming up, but you got your one.
Just give me
Hey,
one. Listen, I'm
AFC
good
North.
for another 4 more weeks. I promise you I am.
AFC North back in play. Lamar Jackson's coming back. Hey,
Just,
before you know it, like Butta said, before you know it, it'll be 3-5, and then 4-5, and then 5-5.
we can pull off 10 in a row. I promise you we can. I'm telling you now. So we're going to see.
Hey, no. Hey, Bengals lost, Browns lost, Steelers lost, Ravens win. That's a good weekend out there in Baltimore for y'all. All right.
Opening up.
All right.
Opening
All
up.
right,
Come
Flock.
on.
All right, Flock. All right. Obviously, it is a Tuesday. You know what that means. We got the top 10 and 10 from the weekend, the biggest headlines coming up from the weekend. We got a couple of things we'll unpack after. Obviously, we're gonna have to talk Ravens, Bears. Joey and Iman are gonna have to hash it out a little bit. I got some Packers recap I gotta do per usual, my Packers thoughts, and golly, it feels good. Hey, we've been winning. We've been winning a little bit ugly now. But hey, look, Christian Watson came back. Devontae Wyatt came back. That offense is, I don't know, the Steelers defense sucks. It's been really bad. But that was, besides the first half, that first half, again, kind of stunk. But I think Green Bay put up 28 points in that second half. Goodness gracious.
Austin, I swear people listen to us because you begged them, feed Tucker Kraft. And man, did he look like a Pro Bowler. Oh my God, he made some plays yesterday, man. You've been saying it. I'm telling you, they gotta listen to us.
Just keep listening, folks. I'm telling you, it's the best yards after catch tight end maybe ever. He's up there. He's already up there. We'll get into it. We're going to get deep into it. We got some winners and losers from the week, and we're going to talk about just kind of wrap the show from there. All right. So how about per usual? Let's kick it off. The top 10 and 10. Here we go. Number one. Like we talked about, the Jets overcome a 15-point deficit and have a massive fourth quarter comeback to take down the Bengals after and all it took was a Breece Hall trick play touchdown pass in the fourth to win it 39-38. Hey, look, this win means nothing on the season. This is still pick one in the draft coming up, the Jets, but on the eve of the passing of Jets legendary center Nick Mangold, this win meant kind of everything for that franchise, for that fan base, to get that win in a tribute game to Nick Mangold. So, hey, the only thing that's kind of brutal about it is it took a trick play pass from your RB1 rather than trusting QB1 to get the job done. Iman, what's next for number two?
Baby Jesus just heard my prayers this weekend, and my Ravens flock defeated the Chicago Bears 30-16 behind the efficient play of our QB Snoop Menace, who is a vet in Baltimore, who was not even on a roster earlier this year, but he went 17 for 22, 186 yards, 1 tud, no turnovers, and a consistent dose of Derrick Henry. Yes, he didn't run for his usual 100 yards, but we kept feeding him 21 carries, 70 yards. And listen, last year, our defense started off bad, and somehow Zach Orr felt like his job was on the line, and clearly he's running back to the game plan we had later in the year last year because our defense held that Chicago Bear defense that's super talented. Well, we needed to beat them, and I'm just thinking we got to win this weekend. Go Flock. Let's go.
Hey, now. All right, number three, the Packers have a 28-point second half to spoil Aaron Rodgers' first game against his former team. Jordan Love continues to look absolutely freaking amazing. Folks, he had 20 straight completions. That's the best mark in the Packers franchise since 2007. Tucker Yak God Kraft, I'm telling you, went absolutely stupid with 7 for 143, 2 tuds. Packers got 6.5 sacks, getting their money's worth out of Gary and Parsons in this one. Hey, that team, if they can just start scoring touchdowns in the first half, it's cooked. League's cooked. That's elite. That's elite team. What's next?
Number 4, listen, Broncos put the definition to BTA to the Dallas Cowboys, and I mean serious, belt the ass this weekend in a 44-24 rout over one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in the NFL. Not only it was a great game for our guy Bo Nix, who was 19-29, 247 yards, and get this 4 tutties. And golly, this second-year quarterback is pulling away from everybody in his class. Right now, he leads in touchdown over everybody in that 2024 QB class. 52 touchdowns over. The second closest is Jaden Daniels with 40, May with 34, Caleb Williams with 31. I knew it from day one. Everybody knew it under Sean Payton. Bo Nix is starting to live into his gifts. And, man, I'm telling you, the score did not give a real definition of that game. I mean, they got everything that they wanted, averaging 9.1 yards per play in the first half. Like, that's unbelievable in the NFL. So, listen, Broncos are on the move, and you got to watch out for them.
That got pulled. It was so bad. Just ugly. All right, up next, Brian Kelly and OC Joe Sloan both get fired at LSU. About damn time. The coaching carousel this offseason in college football is going to be insane. So he receives another massive buyout in college football. This one is $54 million to up the coaching buyout this year to 170 cold ones, man, surpassing the single season record of only $118 million, right? Most lucrative job in America, folks. Get fired as the head football coach at a big college football program. Come on now. They completely let down one of the better LSU defenses they had in a while this year, who've kind of been single-handedly winning them games and keeping them ranked. That offense is gone. Brian Kelly is gone. Joe Sloan is gone. We got a big kind of rebuild coming in LSU. What is next?
Hey, staying in college football, the University of Texas actually won a big game this weekend against Mississippi State, 45-38 in OT. Steve Sarkisian, you get a salute from me. Finally, you put together a game plan in the fourth quarter. You were down 24 points, and you finally pinned your earbacks and start calling some offense to score some points. Not only that, listen, Archie played decent, but he was needed by the backup in OT to throw his only pass, a touchdown pass. Like, what caps off a better play by your first pass being a touchdown for the win? University of Texas won't make the college football, but you beat a Mississippi State team that's been playing better but still haven't got an SEC win. So we're going to pump our brakes on y'all for right now, but that showed a little heart and a little ruggedness to come down from 24 in the fourth quarter. So salute to the University of Texas.
Yeah, just brutal for Mississippi State. All right, up next, over to NBA. We finally got some NBA to start fixing into the top 10 and 10 here. And folks, it's Wemby's world. We just kind of live in it right now. He takes home Western Conference Player of the Week in the first week of the season. Shout out Giannis, takes home Eastern Conference Player of the Week in the first week. Anyways, back to Wemby. He averaged 33.3 points, 13.3 boards, 6 blocks a game, 2.3 assists. He's the first player in NBA history to record 100-plus points, 40-plus boards, 15-plus blocks through the first 3 games. He has highlight plays every freaking game. He's splashing from everywhere. Hey, the future face of the NBA is in good hands right now. What's next?
Hey, sticking on NBA, my brother AR-15, Austin Reaves, drops a career high 51 points in a win over the Sacramento Kings, 127-120. He was 6 from 10 from three-point line. He had 11 rebounds, and he was 1 assist away from a 50-point triple-double. He also got help from DeAndre Ayton adding 22 and 15. And guess what, y'all? This was a Luka-less Lakers who beat a good Sacramento Kings. Hey, listen, I don't know if LeBron wanted Harry back, but this Laker team is looking good without him, because you got two guys who just carrying this team, putting them on their back right now, and it's showing that they're unstoppable when they have the ball in their hands. So salute to the Lakers, a 2-1 right now, and AR-15. What a game, brother.
Over to MLB, it is the World Series, so it's knotted up at 1-1 after, I mean, by the time y'all are hearing this, someone's going to be up 2-1. But it starts off close, really close. The Blue Jays rack up that 11-run first game but they got the cursed Drake endorsement. I texted Iman right away. I was like, fuck. They got the endorsement from Drake. It's over. After I call him pulling for the Blue Jays. But game one, we get the first ever pinch hit grand slam in World Series history coming from Addison Barger. Game two, you got Yamamoto going the full 9 with 8 Ks and 1 earned run. Game three, on as we're recording this, it's the 4th inning. Blue Jays up 4-2 after a big 4-run 4th inning in the top of the 4th. Look, this is going to be a tight series. The Blue Jays got the bats. The Yankees got the pitching. This is going to be an awesome series. Again, I still thinking this one goes 7. What is next, Iman?
Hey, y'all know how I do 410. Miss Jade Henderson, Australian bodybuilder, who is, I'm talking about physique, is phenomenal. She's cut like an eighth of dope. She broke the Guinness World record this weekend with 733 pull-ups in 1 hour. Listen to me, y'all. 733 pull-ups in 1 hour. She broke the world record this weekend. Her hands were ripped to shreds, but I'm talking about athlete. We talking about strength. We talking about mental toughness. I want to send Jade Henderson a salute, because I'm telling you right now, I probably couldn't do 100 in an hour. So salute to Jade Henderson, breaking the world record, 733 pull-ups in an hour. Go!
Golly, that's another top 10 and 10. Man, lots to get into and crack into, but I mean, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring Joey on the screen to talk about that Bears-Ravens game. I mean, someone was going to get hurt this weekend, and it just happened to be Joey on the wrong side of history this time. Joey's a loyal fan. If you're not watching, he's still repping his Bears gear, so I appreciate. I'll let you boys take it away. Joey, I know you probably got some things to get off your chest, right? We're going to talk about Caleb Williams a little bit, so we'll let you get it off your chest. We'll let Iman rebuttal, and you guys can kind of spat it out. I know Iman's feeling good. What do you got to say about it, Joey?
Why can't we have nice things? That's what I'm asking here, because you get that little bit of hope, and then they dash it in a week, and it's just brutal. And we'll get to the Caleb Williams stuff, but it's just, how do you let a backup beat you when you have the supposed number one generational quarterback talent? The Bears and Ravens have only played 8 times in history. 2 of those, in one in which I attended, Mr. Huntley has beaten the Bears twice in Lamar's place. And it's just, you can't have that happen. If you're trying to build, and especially when you're a team last year that started 4-2 and lost 10 in a row, you're 4-2 now you're 4-3. I'm not saying the sky is falling here, but you can't let these little things happen. And when the schedule breaks for you, when you see you have Bengals and Ravens on it, and it's without Lamar Jackson in this one, the next week is going to be with Joe Flacco, and it's supposed to be Burrow and Jackson, you have to win those games, or at least be close in them. And it's just really tough pill to swallow. They still can't figure out how to fix their defensive line right now and their cornerback situation, because both are decimated by injury. There's got to be someone you can bring in to replace guys like Nashawn Wright and others that just are not living up to what they need to. And I get it. You're missing 2 or 3 Pro Bowlers, but you have to find guys next man up and do it. And the biggest 2 annoyances for me from this game are Cairo Santos, outside of the quarterback, Cairo Santos, the kicker. I know we don't talk about kickers much, but he is an incredibly accurate kicker, but has 0 distance on his leg. And you come into these games and you can't hit a 55-yard field goal with ease. The whole league does it. And they executed that to perfection at the end of that second quarter. They rush out on the field, no timeouts left. They quick kick the ball on the uprights, going in, and it falls 5 to 10 yards short. And these are chip shots for every other kicker in the league. So you're losing points there. And the penalties. They had 11 penalties in this game. 11. It is the third game this year they've had over 10 penalties, with a lot of them being pre-snap. And not just, I got duped by a phantom call on PI or something in that regard. These are like offensive linemen and receivers, veterans, lining up incorrectly. Even a false start I don't love, but I'll take. This week's, they lined up over the line of scrimmage. How do you have your head over the line of scrimmage? You look at the ball, you say, okay, I'm football player X. I go behind the football, so then we can run the play. And they just made these stupid errors to shoot themselves in their foot. And this is all outside of the quarterback, which I know we'll get to in a group brainstorm. But it's just a rough day for Bears Kingdom. Even though I'm still in my shirt, I love them near and dear. I'm like that viral kid last week that was the Jets fan that goes, I don't know what to do. I was born into this. That's how we are here in Chicago.
And listen, Joey, I'm not gonna gloat too hard because listen, if anybody listened to the show last week, I didn't have faith in Mr. Snoop Huntley. So I'm not gonna act like I just thought we were gonna win. I didn't. But the one thing I do have on our side is Snoop been in the organization before, which I don't know why we let him get out of there. We put a lot, and granted, Cooper Rush was the guy who shown he could be a backup in Dallas and come in and win some games. So I understood that move, but we should have always had Huntley there. He's known to be able to just run the offense. And now I know this may sound weird, but I think Lamar has to come back and play that. He does not have to be Superman. And I get it. When our defense isn't playing like that, he's going to have to put his cape on. But Lamar has to be efficient and not be Superman, just like Snoop was this weekend, because all we need to do is run the football, play good defense, and we can win. Which, like I said, salute to Zach Orr, because even last year we was calling for his job, and just like that, somehow he must have spent 72 hours game planning in the facilities, not leaving. So that was a perfect game plan. But I also just think it was more that Caleb I don't get Caleb, because listen, even in the game, I just look at him in some passes, I'd be like, good God Almighty, that was an elite throw right there. But his inconsistency has to start really being looked at, because they say, listen, after Thanksgiving of your second year, you got to start looking at quarterbacks and saying, well, that's who they're going to be. And I just don't get that guy. Like, this was a perfect game for him not to just lay an egg. But listen, trust me, y'all have had 4 weeks in a row. I deserve 1 week, Joey. Just one. Just
you
one.
Do.
Just one where my hairline is not going further back. My hair is not falling out for me. So I deserve 1 week, but I'm not going to gloat too bad because I wasn't super positive on the last show about us winning. But I'll take it. And I'm telling you, one thing that I do know, Baltimore Ravens can run off some wins now. I'm telling you, let Lamar come back and our defense get a little bit of confidence, we can run off win after win after win. So, hey, our division better, hey, you better get it together, because when we come, you better watch out. So, hey, Joey, I'm not even going to make you, because I thought we bet push-ups, but it's so good. Listen, maybe later on. So, but, hey, I'm happy. I'm happy.
And you talk about Caleb Williams here, and I'm not, freaking out right now, but this is supposed to be a win because of guy. And right now you're not winning because of him. And these other quarterbacks that were drafted in that same draft class are playing pretty well. And I know it sometimes takes time, right? The Sam Darnolds of the world and Baker Mayfields took a couple of stops, but at least right now, you're out of the Eberflus zone. Like, now you're with the offensive guy. So it's got to grow. You got to start getting into these rhythms. And that's a thing. Maybe it's just a curse here, but like the Bears offense is never in a rhythm. There's a play here, a play there, but they're not flowing. And I'm just concerned with how this looks, because I wonder and this is a conversation probably for 5 weeks from now, but I wonder what's the leash here, right? I'm not saying you bench him at all, but I say the long-term leash of who are you more invested in as the Bears, Ben Johnson or Caleb Williams? And if Ben Johnson comes to you and says, I need a change here, what's the organizational response? Because normally they're dysfunctional and it'll be all a mess. But it's how do you make this the best scenario? Because right now it's early, but it's not, and I know football's not linear, but it's not as step-by-step linear as I think you need it to be to see incremental growth week after week, especially in year 2.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold needed the coach. Drake May needed the coach. I can keep going on with the guys who just didn't look well at first, and they got their coach, and now you can see them. Y'all have their coach. I'm going to tell you this right now, Joey. Y'all have the coach.
I agree with you.
Ben Johnson or Caleb, I'm going with Ben Johnson all day, every day. Hey, we just got to reset this thing. Let's get a guy in here. Y'all have the coach. So it's not, I'm telling you, it's not the coaching. Caleb got to start wearing some of this for sure.
I think if I'm Joey or if I'm a Bears fan in general, I'm scared because how many times this organization have to screw up the quarterback situation? It's Trubisky. It's half the fan base wanted Justin Fields to be the guy, and like, no, don't draft a quarterback. Resign Justin Fields. I mean, it's never good. It's always tumultuous. It feels like they're always making someone's in that franchise making the wrong decision. And I think the problem with Caleb is you obviously come in. We're talking about coming out of college, what appears to be the most insane generational like talent. Like, I mean, Mahomes didn't come out as like that's the generational talent that we haven't seen in a long time. He didn't come out like that. Caleb Williams did. He came out as like, no matter who's drafted, pick one. You're drafting Caleb Williams, most likely. Seems like right now that maybe wasn't the greatest decision, but the expectations were so high. And like you said, Joey, they finally put no doubt the right coach with him. The offense has just been weird with this year with Ben Johnson so far, right? I mean, again, I say it every week. DJ Moore ain't getting fed. That game against the Ravens, all of DJ Moore's yards came on one play, and that was probably Caleb Williams' best throw of the entire game. And DJ Moore made that insane one-handed catch.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, he was again just absent from the offense. So, there's things you could say about Caleb, his lack of production. I don't think like when they're losing, I don't think it's because of Caleb, but he's not really contributing to them win. Yeah, like you said, Joe, it's the perfect way to put it. They're not winning because of him. He's not elevating that offense to the extent that you would be expecting Caleb Williams to elevate that offense. There's still so much nice he can do. He's just still so mistake prone. He can't get out of his own way. And you got to think someone's got to unlock him. There's so much talent to work with there. When is he going to get unlocked? It feels like we're just like 50% of the way there still, which I think a lot of people expected him to come in and just be like, that's the guy right away. You can throw him in, plug him in, and you can get 30-plus touchdown passes, about 4,000 yards. You're going to get a lot of rushing yards in production of him, and you've got next to nothing. It's just been so sporadic, and I don't understand. And you got the coach. So, yeah, like you said, Joe, it's not panic time by any stretch. Not even close. I mean, we're still in year 2 of this guy's contract, but the expectation, he's not even sniffed living up to the expectations so far. Meanwhile, Drake May he's booming. When Jaden Daniels is healthy, he's booming. Now Bo Nix is balling out. Say what you will about Bo Nix, but and shoot, J.J. McCarthy's coming back. I'm not a J.J. McCarthy fan. Michael Penix, he's kind of had his up and downs, but Caleb Williams is falling down the charts from that quarterback class, and I don't know.
The Bears are very good at that, where they zero in on a guy like Trubisky and then say, we don't really like this Mahomes guy, and whatever Deshaun Watson you think of off the field, take that aside. The player, once drafted, they didn't even work him out at the facility. Like, we don't even want to look at him off at a national championships. We're good. And you went with Trubisky. And this is another scenario where you're the one of 3 here. You got Caleb Williams first, then you look at the Bo Nix and the Jaden Daniels, and you see it's always this comparison. It's not a draft where you had one guy and then the rest was running backs, D linemen, what have you. It's these weird drafts in 17 and 25 here. I'm sorry, when Caleb was drafted, that you're having these comparisons immediately because of, in the Mahomes case, eliteness immediately with Super Bowls. And now in this case, growth after growth after growth for guys you didn't think would have that quick of a timeline because you thought Caleb Williams would get it right away. And it just hasn't happened yet.
Mhm.
But the one
Yeah.
thing you can't get tricked though, Joey, because look what happened in Jacksonville. They were thinking the same thing. Oh, give him more time. They gave Trevor Lawrence all that money. Then you go down to Arizona. Oh, give Kyler some more time. They gave him all that money. And now I know they're looking at them contracts like, what are we doing? We don't have the guys. So y'all better figure it out in these next couple of years because he cannot get a max contract in Chicago, and he's not the guy because two teams been duped thinking he needs more time. So I'm telling people right now, if it walk like a duck and it quack like a duck, it is a freaking duck. So
Allegedly a duck.
yeah.
I mean, allegedly. But I mean, hey, that interception he had was brutal. But I think Iman's point was Snoop Huntley. He's been around that system. He was in the Pro Bowl game, right? He was a Pro Bowl with him, whether he deserved it or not. Like
he
he had
did.
that awesome
And
season.
a
Yeah,
playoff
exactly.
game.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not like a rookie to this offense, to this system. He knows what he was doing, navigating it. I mean, I was surprised the Bears couldn't. We talked about it the other week. The Bears dominant like interception stuff. They couldn't get anything going. So it was surprising. How about we were talking about Iman just mentioned quarterbacks who got paid big money. Jordan Love, my Packers. We can stay in the division and talk a little bit of Packers football. Look, it was the reunion game with Aaron Rodgers, the first time Rodgers ever faced the Packers. Lots of hype going into it. The Steelers were wearing those god ugly uniforms,
Hideous.
man. Stupid looking uniform. They look like the old construction. When the crosswalks used to be like black and yellow stripes, back in the day, or like the speed bump line. They look so dumb, or the construction signs, whatever. Stupid. They kicked the shit out of them in the second half. The first half was ugly. Again, the Packers are now the 10th lowest scoring first half offense in football behind some other pretty bad offenses. So I'm telling you, if the Packers can just freaking get right in the first half, like I said earlier, league's cooked. This team is loaded with dudes. They're overcoming the shortcomings of the X's and O's right now because they got a lot of hims out there. They got a lot of guys out there. So they've been able to overcome some of these play calling falters. Like, again, it's getting called out on social media all game. This game, it was the second down plays were making no freaking sense. The week before was the third down plays making no freaking sense. Yet they're efficient. They're executing. Lots of dudes overcoming some shortcomings on the play calling front. Loaded. Christian Watson's back, like I said. Devontae Wyatt's back. In this game, Jordan Love puts up video game numbers. Like I said, 20 straight completions. You know how football does the AWS stats now? They gave him, AWS Cloud gave him a 0.1% chance of doing that 20 straight completions based on the difficulty of each throw. 0.1% chance. He wasn't just making gimme throws. So, right, he is, I found this funny after the game. Jordan Love is now plus 1,600 to win MVP. So he's still like, I think he actually, his chances to win MVP went down from like 5% to like 3% somehow after that game, which is kind of weird to me. So I might have to put some Iman. I know you're a betting man.
Hey, it sounds good. I'm trying to tell you, that's the bet to make.
That duck's quacking. So look, after that game, Jordan Love is now the number one quarterback in football in EPA, expected points added per play, through 7 games. We're talking a 71% completion percentage, 1,800 yards, 13 tuds, only 2 interceptions, 112.8 passer rating, which is 5th in football. He's got 4 games with multiple passing touchdowns and no picks, 5 games with a pass rating over 100, 5 games completing more than 70% of his passes. This is what the Bears thought they were getting with Caleb Williams. Jordan Love and all the Jordan Love slander still out there. Half of it coming from his own freaking fan base is blowing my mind. But look, in primetime, he's delivering too. He's got 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, no picks in primetime, 122 rating. He's 2-0-1. And look, with Christian Watson come back, man, that offense is just going to hit different. Christian Watson comes back, almost puts up a whole bill on that first game back. The deep throw is there. That long ball to Watson, man, with just another example of Jordan Love's insane arm talent, the ability to drop a ball into any bucket on any spot of the field. And we got to talk about Tucker Kraft, man. No matter how much you pass to Tucker Kraft in a game, it's not enough. The Yak God needs to be fed. He is the only tight end with over 20 targets and over 8 yards after catch per reception since 2023. He's done it this year. He's done it last year. No one else has done that. Um, and the thing that kind of is interesting is you got Dobbs balling out, you got Kraft balling out, now you got Watson back, and he's instantly mixed back into the offense. The offense, it just looks so effortlessly, or Jordan Love was so effortlessly getting the ball to Watson downfield. Packers were already explosive. They're about to pop off. It's about to get a little bit ugly, but Matthew Golden kind of went missing, and a lot of fans are like, "Oh, you spent the first round pick." Yeah, I get there's reason to be pissed. Like, I'll be fair, he is way too talented, and you use your first round pick, your first time you use a first round pick in what 20 something years. Having him be your fifth or sixth option in this offense feels really weird. The lack of overall involvement is, I think, largely due to like Romeo Dobbs stepping up. Tucker Kraft has taken a step, and they already have that pre-established rapport with Jordan Love, and it's very hard to complain about how they're producing for you. And again, Watson looked great coming back right away. So I think the people most pissed about Golden are the fantasy owners. Will be like, why is this dude not getting more involved? Packers, are slow to get some of their first round picks involved in general sometimes. So his time will come. Not really worried about it yet. He like deleted Instagram or something, which man, maybe the Packers got themselves a drama queen
Yeah, I
wide
hate
receiver.
shit I hate shit like that. Would I be too much by saying that might be the best wide receiver core in football? Because listen, a lot of teams have two guys, but you're talking about Golden, who showed us some flashes in the
It's
first
good.
couple of games where he can be. We talking about Wicks, Golden, Watson back, Dobbs, and Tucker Kraft. That might be the best
Jaden
five
Reed's coming
guys.
back.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, am I going too far by saying that's the best just wide receiver tight end core in the NFL right now?
I mean, look, and mind you, we got Luke Musgrave sitting behind Tucker Kraft, who we drafted over him, who was supposed to be great, and we don't even throw him the ball anymore. I think it's very good. They don't even. I mean, Wicks was hurt this last game, but his usage has fallen way off. I think to your point, this is where I go back to what we talked about last week with the trade stuff. It's going to be really hard to make a decision on what do you do at the trade deadline now. If Watson, I think without Watson, I mean, the Packers got Savion Williams heavily involved. Savion Williams got his first touchdown this week. I think this game only proved again that like, shoot, you have so many options. Jaden Reed's going to come back, even if Watson gets hurt again. You still, even if let's say you trade Romeo Dobbs, Watson gets hurt again. You still have Matthew Golden. You still got Tucker Kraft. You still got Jaden Reed. You got boys
Three
up and
deep
down.
steel. Yes,
You
three
still
deep
got Josh
steel.
Jacobs.
Yes.
And Jordan Love is spraying the ball everywhere, as good as anyone in football. So I think the Packers are. I don't know what you do if you want to really make a run for the Super Bowl. You probably keep the band together because you can do whatever you want. I think it's gonna be like last year where you're gonna have your best players go missing. Like I think it's hard to get all these guys the ball, and I would love to see them just
But
zero in.
that's a good problem though. Let's be clear. That's a good
It
problem.
is.
That's a
It
good
is.
problem.
It is until you got guys to pay. I mean, then it makes it really hard to decide. Well, who do we pay because we're only giving these guys 3 catches a game because it's on and off. But it works. I like it. I think they need to find some consistency and really start honing in. So I want to see Matthew go and get involved. Not worried about it yet. I mean, again, Dobbs is balling, Kraft is balling, Watson's back to balling, Reed's going to come. This offense is lethal. Worst case, you keep them all. You let Dobbs walk in the offseason. You get a comp pick for him in the draft, the fourth, fifth round, or whatever for him in the upcoming draft. But hey, look, and on the defensive side of the ball, man, as I was clamoring for, get Nate Hobbs the hell out of that defense. Get Carrington Valentine in. Nate Hobbs had 4 snaps. Carrington Valentine went in there and he balled out. He did so much better than Hobbs looked all season. He made a nice pass breakup. I mean, Nate Hobbs is done as an outside corner, especially after this and Valentine being matched up on Metcalf. Valentine had the most snaps of any corner on the Packers, which about damn time they stopped blocking that dude from getting some tread. And the other thing with that defense is that pass rush that you paid for, you got it all. Gary and Parsons, both with 5 pressures. Devontae Wyatt comes back in his first game. He has another 3 pressures up the middle. Parsons now. And look, Iman, I know you got some things to say about his run defense, but he was showing up again against the run. And I know that Steelers offensive line is not like feared by any stretch, but he's playing well against the run. And now he's up to 44 pressures on the season to lead the NFL. And what I love that we didn't see right away is now he's blitzing from the middle. And you're seeing some better stunting from the Packers. You got Gary coming up the butt of the D tackle, and you got Parsons coming up the butt, and you got Gary starting on the outside and kind of working his way in. And they got to Rodgers, 6.5 sacks. Gary is up now to 7.5 sacks on the season. on pace to blow away his career best and everything. I think at this point last year, Gary actually had 7.5 sacks at this point last year. Oh, no, sorry. He had 7.5 sacks total last year. And now in half the snaps, he's already up to 7.5 this year. So that is what you're looking for. It's exactly what you needed out of him with bringing Parsons into town, was for Gary to hold up his end of being the other half of the most dominant pass rush in football, the pass rush duo in football. So you're getting what you asked for. And you know Gary's increased success is partially due to Parsons, but that was always the point. And I was like, all right, now go do it. And he's doing it. He's looking so freaking dominant, like we knew he could be. Parsons is getting doubled out the ass this year.
And I think Gary has been helping them with run stopping, because I mean in Dallas you can run at him every day, but I think Gary is really showing them how to just stall blocks, get your hands out, just see. You don't have to be a speed rusher every time, and you don't have to duck wreck. So I mean that one thing was improved this Sunday that I seen, like, oh, he's starting to be a little bit more physical on the run. But I guess that's just, coaching and other guys on the other side saying, listen, bro, we don't just need you to rush the quarterback. You got to help us stop the run, because they know we're going to get to him at some point. So I did like that from him, being a better run defender. So we'll see if he can be consistent, though, because I still we going to see in the big game what he's going to do. I just seen him, I'm telling you. So, but I mean, like you said, the money was worth it, because now Rashawn Gary is like, oh, single? Y'all leaving one guy on me? Oh, I'm a Pro Bowler. Y'all got to understand what I'm about to do, eat all day. So that's helping them out a lot. So, and it's helping your DBs play too, because that rush is helping them be a little bit more aggressive. So.
Hey, and that's a great point, is Gary was one of the best run defending edge rushers in football last year. And again, you're paying him for the sacks and the pressures, and no one talks about the rush defense contributions, but Gary was one of the more elite run defenders of all edge rushers the entire year last year, and that was partially due to the scheme and what Jeff Hafley was asking for these guys, and Gary was lining up wide. They were trying to play contain, and Gary dominated against the run. He still is, and I agree with you. It's clear that it's something's got to be rubbing off on Parsons. It's a scheme, what Gary's been doing. Gary's very good in run defense, and now that it's looking like he's finally putting it all together. He still doesn't even have a 10-sack season. Looks like he's going to, like I said, blow away his career best.
Easy.
Those boys are dominating. So Packers, again, like I said, this is a very, very good team. And that's why it's so frustrating when they were playing those close games against teams that are struggling, right? We got kind of some fans chirping on YouTube being like, oh, these aren't bad teams. It's the NFL. Any given week, a win's a win. I was like, I get it. And yes, you're not wrong. But look, the Jets just beat the Bengals. The Packers struggled against the Bengals. And the Bengals have lost to the worst team in football, and it's not even close. So I'm saying, like, this team is wickedly talented. On paper, one of the most talented teams in football. They should be manhandling teams the way they manhandled the Steelers in the second half. And it won't happen every week, of course. But they showed what they're capable of if they can just put it all together in a full game. Like I said, they're still struggling in the first half. They were looking like shit in the first half of the Steelers game. They put up together a full game. I'm telling you, man. Like I said, league's cooked. Jordan Love playing like this, Josh Jacobs having a monster season, that receiving core getting healthy, Tucker Yetgod, Kraft, and then that defense showing up. And you got Quay Walker ball and Edgerrin Cooper ball. And I mean, goodness grief, man, that is a hell of a loaded roster. And, I don't know how deep we want to get into it, but, a lot of people out there, there's still a lot of debate over, was Jordan Love the right pick a couple years ago?
Yeah, yes, come on.
I mean, you ask half the fan base about this one, because, right, T. Higgins is on the board and Aaron Rodgers in his twilight, and you're set up to win a Super Bowl. I know the best time to draft a quarterback is when you don't need one. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, half the Packers fan base is, you wasted an opportunity to get Rodgers one more weapon with Devontae to go get your next quarterback. But now you're sitting here, it's like, well, it looks like we have an MVP caliber quarterback once again. And it's just a very endless debate. But I mean, my thing with it all is, like, the past is the past. We can't change anything about what happened. Let's appreciate what's in front of us with Jordan Love at this point. He is absolutely balling. And I think, you can say what you will about the past, the future looks bright as shit for the next 5 to 10 years.
Listen, sometimes when you're a GM or you're a personnel guy, you know what you're looking at. I respect personnel who just gonna get the best guy that we need right now. His arm talent is, you can't find me 5 quarterbacks that have better arm talent. And like I said, his decision making to get better, but you can't name me 5 guys in the league with better arm talent. Period. Just period.
Yeah.
Just period. You can't do it. So I thought that was the perfect pick. And just Aaron Rodgers, like I said, he's super talented, but he wanted out of Green Bay after him and Matt LaFleur didn't go. So it was the right pick. And I mean, and like I said, with y'all in the first half, I can respect because y'all playing on the road and playing in Pittsburgh with the terrible towels and that crowd, that's hard. But the one thing you can say, y'all have a great coaching staff who can go in and make adjustments. That is where NFL, college, high school is won with good coaching staff who can adjust at half and come back out with a better game plan instead of just the first 20 play script that you do at the beginning of every game. So that's a salute to them because, I mean, that crowd and playing in Pittsburgh is not an easy thing to do.
No. I mean, it's a whole long debate on that one, but yeah, he never saw eye to eye with Gutekunst either. So, all right, how about we move on? That was my Packers rant for today. I think we all got out of our systems now. Let's go on to some winners and losers from this weekend, and we can start with the winners. And we got to talk about Jonathan Taylor, Colts running back MVP campaign is in full force. I mean, Iman, we're talking about Triple Crown watch. I mean, if you want to call it that, he's leading backs in carries. He's got 143 carries, 850 rushing yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, which are all first among running backs. So we're talking Triple Crown, right? In that sense, he's got 14 total touchdowns right now in 8 freaking games. Mind you, Saquon Barkley led the NFL with 15 touchdowns last season total. We're 8 games in. He's already got 14, right? He's on pace for – there's Jonathan Taylor's pace guy. 2,200 yards,
Oof.
31 total touchdowns.
Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
So I don't know. Are you watching these games? He's running through some big ass holes. Are you watching some Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah. So Indianapolis Colts for years had some of the best offensive linemen. Like Nelson, he might be the best guard in the NFL the past few years. So they've always had a good running game, but I'm telling you, the best thing a running back prays for and asks for and begs for and go home and pray every night for is a quarterback who can make throws. When I listen, and Jonathan Taylor's always been good going back to Wisconsin and college, and he's the track guy. He was like a 10-4 guy in track and field. And I mean, you're talking about a running back running 10-4. Come on, that's legit speed. So he's always been this guy, but you've always needed a quarterback who can stretch the defense and can make throws. So Daniel Jones has been a prayer answer for him. And they've always had the guys on the outside too, Pittman, and now your guy from Warren. Oh my God!
Oh my gosh, so good.
And listen, guys were drafted before him. The guy in I know Joey, the guy in
Loveland.
Loveland was drafted ahead of him. Who is looking at these guys? I mean, was drafted ahead of him. So I just think that offense is clicking. So Jonathan Taylor, if he can keep this up, and I mean, we've seen 2,000 a few times, but 2,200 yards and 31 touchdowns, if he do that, I mean, goodness grief. And MVP is clear, but if he does that, will he be in the top 5 running back of all times?
I mean, he's already moving up the charts. He's already, I don't remember where he listed, but he's in like the top 5 for most rushing touchdowns in the first amount of career games, something like that. I could try to find the stat, but look, he just had his 4th 3-touchdown game of the season already. Again, we're 8 games in. We're 8 games in. Half of his games, he's got 4 touchdowns, bro.
Oh.
Like he leads, and again, that offensive line is doing numbers. You see some pictures, he's running through. Like, you can fly a plane through some of the holes that the offensive line is opening up, but he's still leading the NFL in yards after contact, too. And he just became the first player with 500-plus scrimmage yards and 10 touchdowns in a 4-game span since Jamal Charles in 2013. So he is having an off-the-charts running back season. He's got to be taken I don't know how you keep Jonathan Taylor out of your top 3 MVPs at this point.
Oh.
I mean, who do you got? He's got to be in in there.
Nobody
Drake May,
him. No.
Jonathan Taylor.
4
I'm just saying, like, guys who should be in the top 3.
With 3 touchdowns fantasy owners are like, goodness grief. I think he pulled away this Sunday. I think,
Hmm.
and Drake may look good too. I watched
Oh yeah,
back and forth with that game. He made some throws that I was like, oh, that's a big time throw. But I mean, 4 games with 3 touchdowns. He doesn't have to score anymore. And to me, that would be a great season with 12
yeah.
touchdowns. So, I mean, goodness grief.
Yeah,
Oof.
he's popping off. So yeah, big winner, Jonathan Taylor. Next up in the big winner categories from this weekend. And I know they haven't been the best team this year, but that Texans defense just held Christian McCaffrey to the lowest rushing total he's had since 2018, 25 yards. And I know that Texans team has not been that great. They're waiting for the offense to figure it out with whatever they got going there, all their problems. And obviously, they got the injuries they're working with. But that defense right now is only giving up 14.7 points a game right now, is best in football. They're giving up the fewest amount of yards in football. They're second in first downs allowed per game, third in interception rate, third in third down percentage. Fourth and you name it, they're like in the top 5 in everything across the board on defense. So D'Amico Ryans is doing his damn job with that defense. So this is a playoff caliber defense that just needs the offense to get right, man. And CJ Stroud, he did fine, man. Like he did fine without the weapons. There was no Nico Collins. Who else was out? I mean, Dalton Schultz. I was stoked to be starting Dalton Schultz in fantasy this week, and a guy laid a dud. And they had their dogs out. So I was kind of disappointed there. But man, this Texans defense, I don't know if you're watching these games. Not many people are watching the Texans anymore, but that defense is keeping them it can keep them competitive. If the offense gets right in the back half of the season, the Texans could sneak into a wild card.
Yeah, maybe, but and D'Amico Ryans is doing a hell of a job. But you know how I feel about these defense head coaches. Yes, I think
Mhm.
the defensive
I
scheme
agree.
wise is the greatest thing going right now. But I think he spends so much time making sure his defense is elite and the game plan is on point that as a head coach, he kind of doesn't sneak in those offensive meetings and make sure, hey, we need more offense. So I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. That CJ Stroud right now is inconsistent, but it's not even. I don't think he's inconsistent. I just don't think they can find like big plays. I don't know what happened to their offense because his first year, I mean, Nico Collins and them could get up the field on you, but somehow, some way, maybe like I said, he just stopped going into them offensive meetings and saying, "Hey, what are we doing over here?" So, but yeah, and everybody's always knew he was one of the young, smart, intelligent defensive guys. So it was only a matter of time where he was going to have one of the best defenses in the league. But I just don't think it's enough that's going to get them on the run. I'm not a believer in the Texans. And that, granted,
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryan's doing a hell of a job. I think he turned that franchise around, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. Wild card, maybe,
Gotta kill
but
the climb.
yeah, but I think it'll be a first. It'll be a first round. Just go home after that one because it's an offensive league now. I'm telling you, just when you're going
Hmm.
against the juggernauts, if you don't have an offense to score with people, I just don't see good defenses stopping your elite guys like Patrick Mahomes, your Josh
Yeah, man.
Allen's, Jordan Loves. It's just after a while they're going to find a way. So yeah,
Hey, your defense. If your defense gives up one touchdown, I mean, to an extent, if your defense is always on the field, that you can only bend for so long if your offense can't hold on to the ball, they can't score points. And I'm kind of surprised with the whole Nick Caley, the Texans OC thing, not working out great, right? He was the pass game coordinator for the Rams in 2024, and I know that is mostly a Sean McVay ran offense right there. But like you said, the passing attack has not been good for the Texans this year. And you got the guy who was just the passing coordinator for the Rams, in 2024 coming over, and things are looking a bit stale. And he was tasked with kind of turning this offense around a little bit. Again, they have so much uphill battles. They're 21st in points scored per game right now. So there's a lot that they have to get right at this point. Obviously, you have no idea when Joe Mixon is coming back and how much that'll play into effect. And the rumors are that Nick Caley's going nowhere, and he's going to keep being the OC the rest of this season. So D'Amico's riding with his guys. And as a Packer fan, watching Matt LaFleur run with a coordinator that was clearly hindering that team from being more successful when he just would not fire Joe Barry because he was too loyal, he was too much of a friend, and he just let that defense drag down the Packers for freaking 3 straight years, man, until it was like, well, we've cost us enough. Well, I guess we'll get rid of him now. So I just hope if he's going to roll with Nick Caley this year that D'Amico is not loyal to the extent where it's going to cost him for more than one season if this doesn't get on track. But I don't know, man. When your defense plays that good, that offense shouldn't need to score a ton. And you would think if they can just start getting a little bit more. Woody Marks had a nice game. I know the Texans fan loved Woody Marks a lot too, that running back. I don't know.
But
I want.
for years we used to hear defense win championships. Defense ain't won a championship since the Baltimore Ravens in 2000. So you go look at everybody that's winning championships. You better have an offense that can score because defenses have not won a championship in years. So I just don't think it gets it done anymore. And that Sean McVay thing is like, it's like Bill Belichick. Everybody that came from Bill Belichick wasn't these great defensive gurus. So he's had some good guys that come off his tree, but clearly this guy just held the play sheet, just like Matt Nagy with Andy Reid. They just hold the play sheet and have this title, which is good. You got to look out for your friends. You just got to do that. So I respect it, but clearly, hey, you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. That's for sure.
Come on now. Hey, it's clear. Nick Caley might have just been holding McVay's jock, making sure it was clean on Sundays. Might be. But let's go to another big winner from the week. And like we already talked about, Victor Wembanyama, the future of the face of the NBA, right? And this guy, when I'm watching him, he reminds me of the future, the next Giannis. And hear me out, right? The games are similar. Wembanyama's getting it done on both sides of the ball. And that's the Giannis specialty, is dominating both sides of the ball in an NBA where not many folks do that to that level of play anymore. So Victor took home the Western Conference Player of the Week in week 1. And like I said, him and Giannis, man, I'm telling you, both of those guys are averaging over 33 a game right now. Both of them are averaging over 13 boards a game. Giannis has 7 assists per game. Victor has 6 blocks a game. Bucks started off 2-1. Spurs started off 3-0. They're both foreign dudes. Absolute dominance on both ends of the court. And the impact he brings to that team in every game is felt almost in a positive manner in just about every facet of the game. And the only difference here is, and why I think he's like the next generation of Giannis, is because Wemby can splash the 3 ball. And that makes him so dangerous. He has more blocks right now outside of the 3 ball. He has 27 blocks. He has more blocks than 27 teams.
God damn.
More blocks than 27 teams. Golly. I don't know, Iman, how much basketball you been watching right now?
I'm gonna tell you, the NBA just throws me off because I don't really look. I like Wemby and I like Giannis because those guys play both sides of the ball. Like, it's hard for me to look at NBA games where bum teams are scoring 130 points. That means there's no defense being played. But I'm a big Giannis fan, so I used to tell people all the time, outside of Shaq, he is the most dominant basketball player I've ever seen just play. I've never seen a team just add a zone wall and he still seems to get to the hole and score. But like you said, the one thing that the alien Wemby got over him is he can shoot threes and he can make free throws. That's one thing in Giannis' game where I'm like, your free throw hasn't gotten better over the years. You're shooting. But, I mean, Wemby is looking like KD with defense right now. And
that's
like
a good
I
way
said,
to put it.
I just love a guy who plays defense, too. I'm the old school NBA guy. I like to see you play I play both sides of the ball. Like, my coaches, we didn't bring balls out for the first 4 weeks. We had to learn, move our feet, and where to be in the right position for basketball. So I love that about Wemby because he's a superstar that if he didn't play defense, nobody would really kind of get on him about it. But he is really playing A1 defense. And like I say, after a couple block shots I've seen him play, people, if he's down there, they won't even go down there. They won't even shoot. So both of those guys are looking like MVPs right now. I'm just going to give it to the alien because, I mean, like I said, his free throw shooting is so much better than Giannis. And his 3 is so much better. But, I mean, Giannis is carrying the Bucks right now because if you look at the team, it's not super talented. You know what I'm
The
saying?
guards are playing well though. Cole Anthony was a great. I loved
Pick up,
Cole
yeah,
Anthony pickup. Yeah, huh? And they got Gary Trent out there. I mean, and then you get Porter Jr. If he can just not do things off the court, that's a
yeah.
freak talent. So the Bucks, I think, got really good guard play. And again, I love the Miles Turner upgrade for them. But yeah, we'll see. They had a hard loss the other night. But let's get to one more winner from the weekend. We got Scott Woodward, LSU AD, has fired two coaches, totaling $130 million in buyouts, and he's had no consequences. Right? The fired coaches are making out big here. They're laughing their way to the bank right now.
Hmm.
Best job in sports, like I said, is being the college football coach who gets fired at a major program because guess what? You're going to get your buyout and then you're going to get hired again and you're going to start making more money. So, and that buyout just becomes your vacation fund and you feed the grandkids for the whole rest of their life too. So Scott Woodward, LSU AD, making out strong right now. I don't know much else about the guy. All I know is, Brian Kelly has allegedly uh you remember that rumor with Brian Kelly that he killed the kid? Even though he didn't kill the kid, but it was that really windy practice and he said, "Nah, get your ass up there and film practice." And then the kid falls off the thing and passes away. Someone just dropped another picture before that where Brian Kelly was at a different program and you see the big like machinery where that elevates up where people go and record on and you got people he's got like a weird kink for putting people really high in the air where they don't need to be and it costs them once and we kind of swept that under the rug. Interestingly enough. So Scott Woodward just might be really good at his job, or he's got really good blackmail on somebody. Because again, I'm a big believer with bad business. It starts at the top, and it's a trickle down effect.
For sure.
And he's at the top.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he's stepping around, but he's
Which,
another winner.
which is weird because and my mom worked in a shipyard for years. So, you go up high on things, which to me, Brian Kelly did kill that kid because as a head coach, you have to know, give him a harness. You don't put nobody high up in the air without a harness on JLGs or scaffolding or anything. And I think a coach should know that. Listen, understand, I'm a Notre Dame fan. The greatest thing ever happened when he took that LSU job. I never liked the guy. He comes off as this hard ass, and I coach hard and this, that, and the third, but he can't coach. Granted, he can be good at recruiting, but he's never been an X and O guy to me. That Cincinnati shit, anybody can win in Cincinnati. I mean, look at what Luke Fickle did. Anybody can win there because you can
Don't remind me.
Yeah, you can get good kids in Ohio. That's a football state. But I'm glad I hope he never gets a big time job again. He is not a winner. He's a fucking loser, and I've always didn't like that guy because when I heard about that story, I'm like, nah, that's messed up. That guy didn't sign up for that. And I know, that kid had the choice to say, hey, listen, man, I ain't going up there today. It's just too fucking windy. I weigh 140 pounds or whatever. But you don't do
Get
that.
up there.
Yeah, you just don't. Listen, I'm a head coach. I've been a head coach. Details and everything that happened in your program is your job to know. Period. So,
Yep.
and they pay you enough for that. They pay you millions for every detail to be T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted. So I just never liked the guy, and I'm glad. Like that bullshit ass. He had a Baton Rouge accent when he first came in. I mean, I was like, ugh, get him out.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't gonna work because he's the phony.
Nope.
So
Yep, and then the camera thing with the recruit where, they're doing the circle with the camera. You knew at that moment it was cooked. It wasn't going to work. And the fake accent popped out of nowhere like he has been there his whole life. Yeah.
I've never
What a joker. All right. Losers, the biggest losers of the weekend. We're going to lump them together with the first one. Steelers and Cowboys defenses are the biggest loser, one of the biggest losers this week. We got to talk about. Hey, first of all, whatever that Matt Eberflus dude touches turns to flaming hot dog shit, man. It keeps getting worse the longer he is employed. The Cowboys defense is now 30th in points per game allowed, and now they are dead last in football in yards allowed a game, pass yards allowed a game, and opponent third down conversions. The Broncos, listen to this, we kind of talked about it earlier in the top 10 and 10, right? The Broncos had 4 players rush for an average of 6+ yards per carry or more, and had 3 receivers with 14.8+ yards per catch or more. And that's including some big time games. They got their asses kicked. And over to the Steelers side of it, the steel curtain just looks like a curtain these days. It looks like a velvet, silky curtain these days. And we're talking about the highest paid defense in the NFL right now. And that's what got Steelers fans hot about it. Their total defense is 30th in the NFL, which is now the worst in their franchise history. Their pass defense is 32nd, dead last. Their run defense is 18th. Their points allowed is 22nd. And if you look at their last 4 games, they've allowed the quarterbacks to go for season high passing yards. And it ain't good. Jordan Love just went 360 with 3 tuds. Joe Flacco, 342 with 3 tuds. Dylan Gabriel didn't have a tud, but he had his career best, 221 yards. And then before that, Carson Wentz, 350 yards, 2 tuds. So this defense, and they added dudes. They got Joey Porter. They got Darius Slay. They got Jalen Ramsey. They got TJ Watt up front for the passers. This defense is paid well. They got name talent. It's just going wrong. I don't know, Iman. If you had to place your franchise, you had to pick the Steelers or Cowboys defense. Which one are you running your franchise with?
I'm telling you, Austin. You know it's not even close. I'm going with the Steelers all day. Listen. That Cowboys defense is laughable. Listen, and I posted on my TikTok. So I was just taking videos during the game, looking at Murray number 59 and James number 50. I've never seen 2 middle linebackers who can't make tackles. They get blocked 90% of the game. It's bad. I would go with the name guys, because the names on the Steelers defense at some point, I think they'll have enough pride in themselves. The Jalen Ramseys, the TJ Watts, the Hayward. I think they'll have a Patrick Queen in the middle. They'll have enough pride after a while, but they'll kind of get it together. You cannot name one guy. Even Clark is probably pissed that he got traded to that defense. Name me one guy on that team who should be playing it. And I'm like 25. And now, granted, number 27, they said this guy was on a practice squad. When I say he came in, I don't even know his name because I've never seen him. But he had to come in at safety. He was laying some wood. Pause. But nobody on the Cowboys team that you would even recruit to come to Ole Miss right now. There's nobody on that defense outside of Clark. Take Clark out of it. There's nobody on the NFL offense that your top colleges will recruit to come play for. Austin, I've been watching football with football eyes maybe since I've been 9. So I watched it before that, but I've had football eyes at 9. I've never seen defenses like this in my life. Because granted, let's be clear, the Broncos don't have world beaters at receiver and stuff, though. Now, Bo Nix is legit, but their receivers aren't like T. Higgins in them. So, oh my God, I'm going with the Steelers. This is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life.
It's bad. It's bad. Kenneth Murray coming out of college, he was a big middle linebacker name coming out of college, and he has just not lived up to the expectations. Seems like he's only getting worse. So, yeah, next big loser from the week, and we already talked about him, but Caleb Williams. And look, we can enjoy, if you want to come on and expand on this with us, you're more than welcome to, if you can bear through it. Caleb Williams has not been terrible, let's be clear. While he's not been terrible, he's now far and away the 4th best quarterback in the 2024 draft class after he was drafted with the expectation to essentially be an all-pro pretty damn quick. And now he's got, one of the best offensive minds in football as coach. And there's really no data available. And I tried to look. I wanted to try my best to give him the benefit of the doubt. But there's really nothing I can find. And the film doesn't help by any stretch. It doesn't help. There's nothing I can really find to put Caleb Williams over Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and even Bo Nix at this point. The numbers don't lie, man. Say what you will about Bo Nix. Love or hate the guy. Think he's a dink and dunk merchant. If you're watching some Bo Nix this season, the guy's making some very nice freaking throws. Caleb Williams making some nice throws himself, right? And there's no doubt about it. But so is Bo Nix, and they're not just short stuff. Drake May is an MVP candidate this season. Nix leads that group, like you talked about earlier. Nix leads that group in total touchdowns and is making some great throws. And when Daniels has been healthy, he looks like a top-flight quarterback in football too. So, right, Caleb Williams now has 2 touchdown passes in the last 4 weeks, and he has 0 touchdown passes in the last 2 games. He's got that 4-touchdown game against the Cowboys, because everyone freaking does. He only has 5 touchdowns the rest of the season outside of that Cowboys game. And and Joe made a comment here that the same thing happened in 2017 when they drafted Trubisky instead of Mahomes, instead of Watson, and that Tyler Dunn story came out that maybe they didn't do enough homework and they just went with Caleb by default because of the potential. And look, if anyone's going to do that and get it wrong, it's the Bears. And I don't know what you do with Caleb at this point, besides hopefully just give him enough more time. You guys talked about it. I don't know how much more you got to add on the Caleb Williams.
I just wonder if Ben Johnson was the head coach, he would have drafted Caleb Williams first. I just something
Interesting.
in my brain would say that Ben Johnson likes a tough guy. Caleb Williams was crying in the game. The fingernail polish don't bother me because that's that fashion thing that these young guys are on, and they're making money with these companies. So I get it. Listen, if a fingernail company want to pay me to paint my nails, come now. I will paint them, and I don't care what nobody says. But just his emotions to me when he was in college kind of threw me. I don't like quarterbacks that have tantrums and don't really show ice in their vein. So I just wonder if Ben Johnson would have drafted him over a more even keel Jaden Daniels or a more experienced Bo Nix. Because remember, Bo Nix had way more experience than everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And Bo Nix is using his feet a little better than all of these guys now. He's an athlete. People didn't think he could use his feet in the NFL, but he's looking good. When it's time for him to tuck and go, he's been looking good. But I wonder if Ben Johnson would have said, hey, that's the guy.
I mean, I'm interested because, again, and not just say because I haven't thought about it like this. And then, again, you should be able to adjust and change based off your quarterback. Ben Johnson's offense operated flawlessly with Jared Goff, a statue per se. If Ben Johnson was there, who's to say they don't draft Jake May? Let's say they say all the same things, shake out the same way, except it all happened like a season earlier, and Ben Johnson was there for the 24 draft, like you said. And we know what Ben Johnson can do with Jared Goff and what that offense looked like with more of a statue at quarterback. Drake May is not like some elite running QB or anything, at least not compared to like Nix or Caleb or Jaden. He's more of he's more like Jared Goff. And would that have been the guy? And now there's always going to be the what if. But I think when we're talking about a Ben Johnson offense and what we know works and what we know looked flawless, I think Drake May would have probably been perfect
His guy
for Ben
would have been
Johnson. Oh,
yep, would have been his
I
guy.
think I think it might have been. And again, that doesn't mean Ben Johnson needs to adjust to the talent of his quarterback. But I agree. I don't know. I mean, if again, all things stay the same, just a year earlier, I think Ben Johnson probably is like, hey, I think Drake May kind of fits what I'm trying to do here a little bit better. And what I just showed you I can do really well, what I did with Detroit. Give me some running backs, give me a quarterback who can just toss it around. We know maybe. Because I think with Drake May coming out of college, the only problem there was he wasn't known to be the most accurate dude, where Jared Goff has been extremely accurate
Yeah.
with so I don't know. It's an interesting what if that we're gonna have to never find out. But speaking of like what ifs and more quarterback stuff, right? Another loser from this weekend, the Vikings quarterback room, and I feel bad sitting all high and mighty with my Packers quarterback room right now, but I mean the Vikings quarterback room is in a weird spot, man. Let me run you through it. They're down to J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer after Carson Wentz goes on with a season-ending injury. They let Sam Darnold go. They let Daniel Jones go. Both of them balling out. Who's to say they would have done it again? But both of them are having MVP caliber seasons right after leaving Minnesota. And let's be clear, Minnesota was flirting with Rodgers this offseason. Don't try to anybody sit up here and tell me that they weren't. And instead of they were doing all this stuff at the quarterback, and then all these quarterbacks not really going all in on J.J. McCarthy yet, which I understand. I kind of like letting your quarterback sit and wait behind a guy who can kind of do some things and not putting the pressure on him right away. So I don't mind that they were evaluating other stuff. And then there was a lot of talk, and this is coming from I've seen it on Vikings articles, like Vikings fan articles or sites like that talking about the J.J. McCarthy soft benching rumors disguised as an injury recovery, right? I don't know if you watched the game this weekend with the Vikings, but yeah, JJ McCarthy, a guy was falling out of bounds and he fell like right at JJ McCarthy's feet, and JJ McCarthy had a beautiful vertical jumping over the guy. He just got up in the air, landed. And the guy was suited up. He looked healthy. He looked like a healthy scratch. If I've seen a couple healthy scratches, he looked like one of them. And again, they're in a weird spot. Now they have to bring J.J. McCarthy back, and it's going to be on the road against the Lions pass rush. And again, anyone using and I know we talked about it early because you were like, oh, NFC Player of the Week. I know you kind of like some J.J. McCarthy early on.
I did earlier.
Hey, You know damn well as well as anyone, he only had one good quarter of football that game. I don't like that cope. So and the other thing is they let Carson Wentz, we know now, they let Carson Wentz play with essentially one freaking arm attached to his body rather than bring J.J. McCarthy back, who, again, suited up, seemed kind of healthy on the sidelines when he had to jump over a dude. And I get it, high ankle sprain's nothing to mess around with, but he's returning as a starter in a tough game right now. I think the Vikings quarterback, I don't think the Vikings have a lot of confidence with where they're at. And that offensive line without Darisaw is not playing great.
Hey, listen, you see it as well as everybody else see it. If he's suited up and he's not playing, a guy that they drafted early, clearly Kevin doesn't have any faith with him. But hey, I got some tread left on this right arm, Kevin. So listen, you can call me. I'm Justin Jefferson. Listen, I can throw a slant and I can just three-step and let it go, and I can throw a fade to you. I got some tread left, call me, because clearly JJ is not the guy. When I seen that, I'm like, why are they dressing him out if he's not? No way. Oh, he's the emergency guy. Come on. He's dressing
That means he
out.
can play.
Your franchise guy is dressing out. I just think they really see what we don't see at practice and like, shit, we should have just paid Aaron all that money, or we should have just paid Daniel or Sam Darnold. Because listen, everybody keeps saying Sam wanted to stay, but they didn't want to pay him what they needed to pay him to keep him in. So he took the money in Seattle, and God, look at what he's doing out there, 5-2. So it's like somebody dropped the ball, which I thought Kevin had a better eye for what quarterbacks look like. But, I mean, maybe listening to John Harbaugh, because I'm not John. Jim. Listening to Jim, Jim tell him, hey, this guy's a winner. Trust me, if anybody, they let him trick him. Jim was hyping this guy up. He even hyped me up. And I told you, I'm a big Jim Harbaugh guy. Been loving Jim Harbaugh when he played for the Colts with the black cleats. So he hyped me. But that shit is fool's gold. So I just never see your franchise guy dress out and not play. And that's telling me. Because Carson Wentz a bum. So
he got hurt. And the other thing is, and what really makes the cope tough is Sam Darnold went to a Seahawks team with a defensive head coach. And look, JSN, superstar. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. Those types of boys ain't all up in Seattle. He's got JSN, man, what? Nothing. And he's been one of the best quarterbacks in football, and he's got a defensive head coach, not Kevin O'Connell, not with the all-world receiver Jefferson, not with maybe one of the best number twos in football, arguably the best with Jordan Addison. He's doing it with less and balling out. So I think the Vikings made a huge mistake. Even if they drafted McCarthy, they should have found a way to get something else. J.J. McCarthy came out and was still a raw talent. He wasn't a downfield killer. He was a short game guy who can run the ball well, and he can get you some good short to medium stuff, but he was never known for being a great downfield passer, and he had some things to work through. I never liked the pick. Again, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, man. It's just it's something between Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence with J.J. McCarthy. Something in between there. It's given something like that, and we'll see. I'm ready to be proven wrong. But like you said, if he's suiting up, not playing, and you got a guy out there with with one arm, and you're keeping him in, and he's already a bum, and now you're down to Max Brosmer as J.J. McCarthy's backup.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, Kevin called me. I'm telling you, I'm better than that guy, Kevin.
I can handle,
3.5. Listen, I can run a little bit still. Call me, Kevin. I'm telling you, call me, man.
I can hand the ball off as good as anyone, God darn it. So you let me know. I'll hand the ball off Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason all game long. You let me know, Kevin. I'll do it for cheap. Couple bucks, maybe $10K. Maybe give me
listen, that's all I need.
Yeah, minimum vet deal. I don't know, something. I can suit up. But all right, that's the show for today. Thanks for hanging around with us. As always, get on Juega House. I got my Juega House right here. I love this one right here. This might be one of my favorite Juega House hats if you're watching the show. But use code Sideliner Sports, SIDELINR Sports for your 15% at Juega House. Get in there. We will see you on Friday. We've got some fans join us again to talk some balls, doing some sports coverage with some fans that we'll get into. So if you want to join the show, mind you, get on the website, get on the YouTube, fill out that Google form, tell us a little about yourself, and let's get you on the show talking ball about your favorite teams. You tell me what you want, we'll get you on, we'll talk about it. Until then, y'all have a great rest of the week.